welcome to another video. Once again, this is my third video filmed this afternoon. I'm in a very big filming mood, which means that I'm in the same t-shirt because it's the same day. So don't let that throw you off. We are here today because I thought that it would be fun to talk a little bit about my summer goals and bucket list. So I put together this whole spread in my bullet journal for things that I want to do this summer. And I probably won't get to all of them. My goal isn't even to get to all of them. It's just to try them. Some of them are things that are planned that I'm just looking forward to and know they will happen. And others of them are things that I don't know will happen but want to try. And I thought that this would be a particularly interesting video to film because I just finished my second year teaching. And so when I'm not working in the main academic year, like, what am I up to? You know, like, I feel like it would be interesting to see a teacher's goals and things that they do over the summer. You know, because like I feel like that's the kind of thing I never really knew or thought about until I myself got into teaching. So that's another point of view that I hope to bring with this video. And we'll just kind of get into it and I'll tell you what the goals are and why I picked them and things like that. So the very first one is to read 10 books. I just filmed my summer TBR video and yeah, 10 books is a stretch. Summer is about 2.5 months for me and a little less actually. But that means that we're looking at like 5 books a month and that's a stretch for me. I read anywhere from 1 to 4 books in a month. So 5 is a stretch, but at the same time it's summer and I have more time and I hope to really get through some books that have been just sitting around for way too long. The next thing I'd like to do this summer is post regularly on Instagram. I have finally gotten a profile layout that I enjoy, an editing process that is achievable for me, and like it's good. I have to actually make the time to get into that rhythm, and I find that there's a lot of fun engagement and growth on my account when I actually do post regularly, and I want to do it. I also think that Instagram is a place that is untapped when it comes to bringing more people onto my YouTube channel. So those are some things that I'm thinking about this summer, and if I can get a routine down with those posts, that would be nice. My goal is only to post like once a day max. I'm not looking to dive super deep into Instagram, but here and there, once a day, that's my goal. The next thing I have coming up in the summer is a physics modeling workshop. So modeling is a kind of classroom structure and curriculum design where students are given problems that they are asked to find the solutions to. So like the physics classes at my school do not have a textbook. The students are not given the rules at the beginning and then asked to plug and chug in different scenarios what those different equations and things look like. We actually start with kind of paradigm labs where they are asked to explore a problem and a relationship, and then through the analysis of those labs they come towards the actual physical rules and principles that we want them to learn. And I did that this year a little bit. I shadowed a teacher in the fall, and then in the spring I taught the course myself, but everything was adapted for COVID, and so my actual background in this technique is not strong. And I got approved to go to a workshop towards the end of the summer to actually spend some time really focusing on developing that craft. And so I'm really excited for that, especially excited that the school is paying for it and I don't have to. And I think it's going to be a really great opportunity, and I really look forward to learning some more things that I can bring into the classroom next year, especially as we are like transitioning into normalizing things a bit more than we were able to last year. The next thing that I want to do this summer is a UBD workshop. So my faculty coordinator and trainer at my school is hosting something called a UBD workshop on like 5 or 6 different days throughout these first couple of weeks of June, and I've signed up for 4 of them, I believe. And UBD stands for Understanding by Design. It's a kind of curriculum development style and template. It involves being very deliberate about, for every lesson you plan, starting out with the student outcomes and assessment strategies. So what do you want the student to be able to do by the end of the lesson? How are you going to assess whether they are able to do it? And then developing your lesson and your activities such that you work them towards that outcome and that assessment. And It's something I've played around with on and off throughout the year, but again, I do not have any formal training in it. My undergrad career did not have any formal training in education. I'm just kind of been learning as I go along, which is in part why my first year of teaching was just dreadful. My second year was a lot better. I'm really proud of a lot of things that I was able to accomplish this year, and I got a lot of good feedback from students and colleagues about some of the things that I did in the classroom. But now that I'm not moving and like between jobs and things aren't all over the place, I really want to actually put more energies into being a more deliberate and nuanced instructor. So I'm excited for those workshops. The next thing I'd like to do this summer is maintain my YouTube schedule, which honestly I'm already off of, because today I filmed my spring wrap-up video and that was meant to be published yesterday. So I'm already behind, but like, it's fine. I'll catch up and then just kind of maintain it. Basically, I don't want to get so involved in other things that this channel completely falls by the wayside, because the summers are really when I try to standardize things on my social media because I have a bit more time to do so. Next, I'd like to finish the Wheel of Time series. Who knows if that's going to happen, but I have been working on about approximately monthly reading vlogs for that series for over a year now. And I think that this summer is the time where we'll really get to do a lot of reading and I should be able to finish it. So we will see how that goes. The next thing I'm doing is the only travel that I hope to do this summer. I'm not big on travel. I don't like to do it, but I have been vaccinated. Things are starting to open up, and my boyfriend's mother is turning 60, so we are going to travel to celebrate her birthday for a week, and I'm pretty excited about that just because we've all now been vaccinated, and so it's the first time that we'll be able to get together with like no worries, and I think that will be fun. It's the only travel I have planned though. My training workshop at the end of the summer is remote. It's on Zoom, and it's probably the last time I'll be glad that anything's on Zoom. The next thing I want to work on this summer is to write a set of competencies for one of my courses next year. So I am part of a professional, it's called a PLC, or professional learning community. It is a kind of subcommittee at my school. Every teacher is supposed to pick one, and one of the subcommittees is on mastery learning. So mastery learning is a different type of grading and assessment schema that aims to move away from the 100-point F through A plus kind of grading scale that we're used to and give students more qualitative feedback. We're exploring as a small subcommittee, like reading a book called Grading for Equity by Joe Feldman, I think. And I haven't finished the entire book because I joined this PLC late in the year as a first-year teacher. I was part of a slightly different group at the beginning, but that's one of the things we're exploring, and our summer work is going to be to actually write these competencies. So competencies are not just the assignments and then the weight you place on those assignments and then the letter grade they get for those assignments that get averaged at the end, right? Like most grading systems do. Competencies are the essential skills you want a student to learn by the end of a course. And then for each competency, the assignment you have that would assess that skill, so that, and in like the ideal implementation of the system, the students are not looking into their grade book and seeing like every assignment and then what grade they got on that assignment, but rather seeing the competencies they are being held accountable for, and then when they have or have not demonstrated that they know how to do that particular thing. And it's more meaningful because instead of getting like 2 students could get a 90 on an assignment that was meant to test them on a couple of different skills. The reason the student got a 90 from one to the other could be different for each student, but then smashing those unique skills into a single number grade does not actually let the student know exactly what they didn't know how to do. One might have gotten their 90 just because they didn't show any work, while the other might have gotten it because they did not know how to add fractions or something like that. You know, those are just quick examples. And so in exploring the system and like different ways of giving feedback to students, we've all agreed to pick at least one course where we're going to write our set of like 10-ish competencies that are the essential skills for the course. And because this group is a group of teachers across different disciplines, it's really going to give us a good idea at what those competencies might look like in an English course versus an art course versus a mathematics course and things like that. So I'm really excited to start to dive a little deeper into that work. The next thing I'd like to do is take the full set of Algebra 2 notes for my classes next year, because oh my gosh, I've like rarely ever taught the same course twice, because I am a new teacher and I've moved schools, and so I'm doing something different every year. And part of that involves needing to brush up on the material that I haven't seen in a while, right? I taught geometry last year, and I wasn't good at geometry when I took it the first time, right? And I've grown as a math learner since then, so reviewing geometry for my classes this year wasn't nearly as hard as taking it the first time when I was like 16. But at the same time, it's been a while, and so a lot of my stress this year came from the fact that it would be like the day before I would need to teach a lesson. I'm furiously taking notes and trying to make sure I understand the material, and I don't want that to be my life next year. So next year I am teaching Algebra 2 and physics. So for physics I've taught before. This is going to be my first time reteaching a course, which I'm very excited for, because I won't be making things up. I will be tweaking things, which I've never gotten to do, and I'm very excited because that means that the stress is not on, will I have something for students to do tomorrow? Will it be meaningful? It is, I already have these things. How can I make them better? It's going to be a good time. But for Algebra 2, I have not taught it before, and so what I want to focus on this summer is just brushing up on my content so that next year, when the school year really gets started and I'm planning, my planning is focused on, okay, I know all of this content, I know what we want to learn this year, how can I best implement it, how can I build my lessons around it, etc. More efficiently, because I was trying to do all of that last year all at once in the middle of the school year. That's just hard. That's hard to do. I have the time this summer. I like math, that's why I teach it, so I don't anticipate that this is going to be hard to do. I think it will be fun. I bought a fun notebook from Erin Condren to put all of my notes in, and I'm excited to start that as well. I'm just waiting for the notebook to come in. As soon as that comes in, I'm taking all my notes, and I'm looking forward to it. Then we get to a few things that are actually not school and work related. So I want to go to a restaurant this summer with my boyfriend. Like, I've been in very few restaurants since the pandemic started, for good reason, but now I am vaccinated, things are starting to open up, and my boyfriend's vaccinated as well, and I just want to go sit down somewhere and have someone serve us food. Like, we used to do that occasionally, and we'd stopped. We haven't in a while, and I want to go out and like change our scenery and things like that. So I am excited to do so this summer. We live in a new city. I don't know any of the local businesses and restaurants, and there are a lot that we've been driving past all year that I want to try out. The next thing I'd like to do this summer is explore Patreon. So I'm not 100% sure it's something I'll actually dive into a lot, but I played around with the idea at the end of last summer, and then work started and I dropped it completely. This summer I want to revisit it and just kind of see, like, what might I do, what my tiers look like, what would be manageable, and is that worth it, or is it something I could never keep up with? I don't know. But that's a goal for me this summer, is to kind of revisit that idea. Next thing I want to do is develop some wish lists. So Amazon and teacher and classroom specific wish lists that I can just kind of link at the bottom of my videos, just in case people want to help support my channel, and also to give people, when they ask me for like lists for Christmas and birthdays and stuff like that, so that I'm not always just trying to think of random things on the spot, that they're thoughtful lists of things that I could reuse. The next goal that I have this summer is to walk our cat. So Sir Cat is an indoor cat, and she's an indoor cat, but I would like her to get some fresh air. My boyfriend and I want to make sure that she gets enough exercise, and so we want to be able to take her out on walks. We are in the process of slowly starting to harness train her, and my goal is that by the end of the summer we'll actually get outside. The next thing I'd like to do this summer is go to a water park. Oh my goodness, I like forgot water parks existed until my boyfriend asked me the other day, like, had I ever been to one and when the last time was that I've gone to one. And now that we are in a city, I am sure there's a water park around here somewhere, so we are gonna find it and we're gonna go to it. The next thing I'd like to do this summer is work on my Procreate drawing. I want to be able to make more of my own stickers and designs and things like that. I am interested. I just haven't put the time in. So I have the iPad and the Apple Pencil that I rarely use, and I want to break both of them out, get them charged. I don't think they're charged right now, and actually put some dedicated time over the summer to learning how to hand letter and draw on Procreate. I also think that that is going to be a good way for me to get better at art in general. It always takes me time to try to practice doing something like drawing or painting, because I am so concerned with the cost materials. Like, I'm going to put this $10 drawing notebook, I'm going to use it all, and it's going to be full of bad pictures because I'm just learning how to draw, and I don't want to feel like I wasted $10. And that's not true, right? Like, it's not a waste if I'm actively practicing that skill, but it kind of feels like that, and it makes me hesitant to start. Whereas a digital drawing medium, there is no waste. Like, if I mess up on a drawing and I create 100 bad drawings, they're just digital files. I can delete them if I want. I can move them to another place if I want. Like, they don't take any resources except like the electricity and my time. Next thing I want to do is a little bigger. It's learn to watercolor. I started an art journal at the end of last year. It morphed into my reading journal, and since then I have not revisited practicing watercolor, which is something that I want to do more. I might even delve into some acrylics. I'm not sure yet. I have sets of both. I just don't set the time aside to do so. So I have written it down so that I can actually deliberately make some time to do that. The next thing that I'd like to do is go to the mall. Now that I'm vaccinated, I haven't been to a mall in a very, very long time. And so I would like to. There is one mall nearby. Haven't ever visited it. I'd like to just walk around a bit. I like malls because you can walk around and look around and be entertained for hours without having to get super sweaty outside, which is not my jam. So hoping to check that out this summer. I'd like to visit a park. We live near lots of good parks, and I don't know, I want to check one out. Then there are 2 books that I want to read this summer for school and my career. So one of them I've already talked about, Grading for Equity by Joe Feldman, and that one is just me catching up on some of the work that other people in my subcommittee worked on earlier in the year before I joined the group. And then the other book is called Better Than Carrots, something restorative practices by someone I don't know. That's faculty reading for the summer. So the school has bought books for all the faculty, and we are going to be reading that and then talking about it towards the end of the summer at our opening year faculty meetings. That was a long list. There's a list of 20 things. Some of them are simple and quick and easy. Going to the mall, visiting a water park, things that can be done in a weekend, things that have to get done, like the workshops I've signed up for and traveling for my boyfriend's mother's birthday. And then other things are going to take more time. It might not happen at all, like exploring Patreon or posting regularly on Instagram. So I think I have a large mix of things. And I like this list because even though it's big and I probably won't do all of the things, I'm not going to be bored. Like, that was one of my fears, was being bored over the summer, because it's the first time I haven't had urgent things to do. And I really, really, really rely on the structure that my job gives me during the year. I really want to use this time to refresh and do things for myself, so that when the fall kicks up and I'm doing things for work again and things get really busy, I'll have done a lot of other things that I wanted to do over the summer and use this time like productively, but not necessarily in a work capacity, just to make next fall easier for myself. That's really one of my biggest goals this summer, is to make next year easier for myself. That's been a long video. I had more things on this list than I thought I did. But yeah, let me know down in the comments below if there's anything you're working on or excited to do this summer. I would love to know. And yeah, if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.